Welcome back to the Vanessa Eriksson podcast. I'm Vanessa, your host, and I'm here to bring you meaningful conversations with leaders and influencers on data, AI, innovation, and leadership. Today, I'm thrilled to have Vera Janevska, the global leader of intelligent automation at IKEA, in my studio. Vera is a purpose-driven leader with an engineering background and a deep commitment to human-centered innovation. At IKEA, she leads global efforts at the intersection of technology, people, and transformation, shaping thoughtful human-centric approaches to automation and AI. She believes technology should empower people, not just drive efficiencies, and is passionate about creating solutions that support meaningful, inclusive change. Beyond her work at IKEA, Vera serves as an advisor to the Osservatory Digital Innovation at Politecnico di Milano, contributing to forward-thinking conversations on the future of work, automation, and AI across Europe. In 2024, her dedication to inclusive, purpose-driven leadership was recognized when she was named one of Sweden's top 75 female leaders of the future by Ledarna, the country's professional organization for executives. Without further ado, let's hear what Vera has to say. Welcome, Vera, and welcome all of you. Welcome, all of you, and welcome to my guest, Vera. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Hi, thank you very much for having me, Vanessa.
And all the way from Malmö.
Yes.
Yes.
Sweden is very long, so yes, all the way from Malmö.
Yeah, well, it is. It is quite a journey, isn't it? But I'm so happy you could make it. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for inviting.
I'm just reflecting on your personal journey, which is, by the way, amazing. We're coming to that, all the awards that she has won. But you've been with IKEA for quite a while, which is a bit rare in today's tech space. Yeah. Would you walk us through that journey from where you started to, that you are the global head of intelligent automation?
Yes. Sounds amazing, right?
It is amazing.
Yeah. So thank you very much. It's very well spotted, actually. Staying for one company nowadays in this evolving world where things are changing, we all have that FOMO and what do we do next and where do we go next. But for me, it has never, staying at one company for a decade has never been about standing still. No. It's been about learning, building trust, shaping change that is thoughtful and with purpose. So from outside, IKEA is seen as a retailer, right? The blue box and the website. But what you don't see from inside is the amount of tech we have and the amount of investments and in innovation and the progress we are making internally with all of that. And in many ways, IKEA is also a tech company due to the mindset as well of changing, adapting, and being on the go. So chances are, if you name a tech, we probably have it at IKEA. Okay, maybe not a quantum computers yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. So my journey has evolved over the years. I'm coming from a background of cybernetics, which is all about how humans and machines work and coexist and interact with each other, how systems connect, and what it means actually to be a human in today's digital age. So moving from academia, which was pretty theoretical, to the business, it was a big shift for me, and I was, and the journey within IKEA has really helped me to understand deeper the complexity of the businesses of today's enterprises, because IKEA is one of many enterprises with its own flavors and complexities, right? So, and again, over the years, the path brought me back again to where I feel most aligned with who I am, how I want to contribute to the world, and where I want to go. So my roots, I think, in cybernetics spoke or did their job to go back again in the intersection of tech, people, and the future of work.
Yeah, I love that, because we will get back to that as well. Vera, would you like to just quickly introduce yourself as well?
Yes, thank you very much, Vanessa. People would probably like to know who I am beyond the job title. So I'm someone who is deeply inspired by the times we live in, all the diversity, the abundance of possibilities, but also true responsibility we have in order to shape a more human, inclusive future with technology. Endlessly curious, of course. I love using the curiosity to bring people together and spark ideas that make life more meaningful, right? At the end of the day, that's it. At the heart of it all, what drives me is really helping build a future where people feel more connected, spend more time on what truly matters, and have the freedom to create and grow. Because at the end of the day, technology can help us, just spend more time maybe really living instead of how we're used to the life right now. We are occupied in just doing things and being in that autopilot mode all the time. So tech is here for people, and I'm excited to live in times we live right now.
Lovely. Thank you. You've said that growth happens when you are comfortably uncomfortable. I love that. I mean, of course, because, personally, I also feel that it's just when you're out of your comfort zone that you achieve something. I'm thinking, for you to make a statement like that, something must have happened. Could you share with us this moment, or what give you this mindset?
Yes, thank you for noticing that. I think that came naturally, and it's a reflection of the journey, or the life journey, and it's idea I talk about, because that's, as you said, the growth mindset. Taking some years back on early life, growing up uncomfortable was just a norm for me. But it wasn't the kind of uncomfortable that builds you, that takes you a little bit out of the comfort zone. I grew up in post-Yugoslavia, and everyone who knows a little bit of a history about that part of the world knows how much fear and uncertainty really shaped daily life. You never really knew what is going to happen next. You didn't have the full and big picture of the situation and what is happening. And on top of all of that, it was a very competitive environment. So survival was on top of mind. And for very long, fear was what made really taking risks feel really, really heavy. Endlessly curious as the person I am, I was fortunate enough to grow up with in a family that was helping me and supporting me face those fears. And I always found then that support system to push me into new spaces and get out of the comfort zone, no matter how much of fear it was. And moving to countries and studying and everything. And what really actually was defining moment in my life is when I moved to Sweden. When I started working in an environment where it's okay to not know something. It's okay to do a mistake.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we learn from our mistakes, right? So, and in Sweden, I realized that real growth happens when you feel safe enough to step into the unknown. And I think that's how you grow, when you're willing to reach just beyond what feels easy, right? So you test enough to learn something new, then you take time to reflect, take the lessons in and move forward. And that cycle of stretch, reflect and grow is what is really installed inside me right now. But being in a leadership position is also, for me, having that mindset is very vital, because then I can make sure that I create the safe environment where people can feel just a little bit uncomfortable to grow.
Yeah, I love it, because I think what you're talking about is psychological safety.
Yes.
That companies are, introducing or have introduced, and that makes me very happy, because, I mean, I come from India, and I think, I can safely assume the journeys that we have been on, as challenging as they might have been in our own countries, it has taught us. So no regrets, but we are in a wonderful country. I'm also a very strong promoter. I've been here for so long. It's home.
Yeah.
So it feels really nice to know that we are in a safe space where you can make mistakes. You can own up to your mistakes and say, okay, I did it. Let's move on.
Yes, and I see that how people grow around. It's something I tell to the people I work with. And we joke about it a lot. I tell them, like, you guys are like yeast. When you create this safe and nice environment, there's no limits to what you can do and what you can learn. And they're proving that all the time.
Yeah. Yes. You believe tech should support people, not just systems. Can you give me an example of when that really came to life?
Yes, and this really goes to the heart of why I do what I do, right? For me, it always starts with purpose. Why we're building this technology? What does it serve? Who does it help? How does it bring the human out of people? And again, going back to my background in cybernetics, it really taught me to see how people and technology continuously shape each other. And that's why I believe that when we have to design tech that truly serves human experience. And when I talk about intelligent automation in this case, I see it as a way to amplify what people do the best. Not take away, but free time and energy for work that truly matters. The more intelligence we build into technology, the more we have to protect and strengthen the qualities that makes us human, which is judgment, creativity, empathy, right? And sometimes the best proof is when you hear it from those who use the technology and help them in everyday life. And that is very rewarding. At the same time, it gives you faith that what you're doing and the way you're approaching this tech is really helping the other people. And at the end of the day, it's about the future we create to build together.
Yeah, absolutely.
With this tech, and we really need to make sure our systems stay, of course, resilient, sustainable, and deeply human-centered.
True. Because you operate at the intersection of tech, people, and transformation. if when you're working, are there any principles, are there any frameworks that guide you, that empower the people instead of, because we also hear about, I want to say, and not threaten the people, because you also hear of being a little pushback in companies when rolling out AI. So do you have any principles or frameworks that guide you?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's fundamental, right? Intelligent automation, AI, any other tech, right? If it really empowers people only if we get the basics right. Without the right guidelines, principles, framework, it can really feel threatened, right? You're coming after me. You're like my purpose. And of course, that's the last thing we want to do. For me and how we do the work, it always comes back to one thing: keep people at the center. That means putting those real frameworks and into practice. Just to name a few: human in the loop. Right. In AI is very now popular to speak about that, right? How to build a safe system. So no system should make a big decision without a people involvement, right? Transparency and explainability. I personally do want to know how a system uses the information to make what kind of decisions and how it will impact me. So that is a big part of what we need to embed into the frameworks. Data privacy and security, it's been
around for a while.
Yes, exactly, and people have been talking about that so much, but it's very important, and we need to repeat about that continuously, and it needs to be there since day one. We need to design the systems in order to follow these frameworks, and we also measure every step of the way in the journey, and the data we have, we present it to our stakeholders and share it openly. So last year alone, our work delivered more than 23 times the initial investment back.
Cool, well
right?
done.
So that is a real proof that when you get things right, everyone wins, right? So at the end of the day, it's very simple. Does it help people to work, to do the work they're proud of and build trust instead of fear? If the answer is yes, then we're on the right track.
Cool, very nice. Could you share with us a little peek into the AI, some of the AI initiatives being driven at IKEA? Any that you are particularly proud of?
So, of course, I can share something. And it's no secret nowadays that everybody are looking into AI agents and how they can help us and support us in our daily work. We, within the intelligent automation area, are exploring quite much with agents and agentic AI as a part of R&D. So we test how these agents take, of course, some of the very heavy lifting for people and make sure work feels smoother and easier. The way we approach it is that we test it on ourselves. So we first test it on our area. We do have pretty big magnitude of reach, and we learn what works best before we scale it up or even promote it. So it is always about staying step further and doing those being early adopters, but always with care and mindful on how everything can impact the business, right? But what is really interesting to observe is how trust changes everything. And what I observe is that in the company where we have done successfully intelligent automation, people come to us and they are super curious to say, hey guys, like, what are these agents everybody are talking about, or AI, or like, how can we use that? You know, let's jump on the train. You know, so it's very interesting to see. Couple of years ago, where people were, of course, not very open to that change. Now that we have built the trust, people come and they just want it.
Yeah.
But also they're very curious in understanding how that can impact them.
Yeah.
So it's not only technology.
Yeah, it has to do with people, right? A big part is about the
yes.
people. But that is wonderful because, I mean, one is, you know, you're doing the POCs in the groups, within your teams, but then you also need the evangelists. So I'm guessing that must be a nice way to, you know, the teams that have tested it out to talk positively about it and get others also interested. So, well done. But and I think you're spot on with the trust, because if I don't trust something, you know, it's not so attractive and I don't want to go into the space. What are your ethical considerations when you are rolling this out into the organization? I mean, you said explainable. I love that, because as an advocate for responsible AI, especially in the automotive, it is so big. It is, you know, the ethics and that is kind of non-negotiable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
We are a value-driven company, and for us it always starts with the core values. We're actually very proud to be one of the first companies to put clear digital ethics into practice, and we don't see AI governance as some fixed policies that just sit on the shelf and, you know, tick off audits. Instead, what we do is we take a modular and risk-based approach. That means that we create clear ownership, clear structures and ways of working that can adapt as the technology evolves and the regulations change, right? It's in that way it stays structured, but also flexible enough to keep us responsible and in the fast-changing world of, you know, regulations, technology. We want to have that flexibility, right? But good governance only works if people feel confident using AI and they trust it. So that's why we invest a lot in AI literacy in programs and trainings across the company, no matter on which level you are. We also have very personalized trainings. Do you want to go deeper into AI, understand more? Do you want to code? Then there is a program for you, right? There is a space for you. If you just want to understand how to use the internal tools we provide and have AI, you will have that as well. So at the end, ethical AI is really about making choices that people trust, even when it's not the easiest or most visible path.
Nice.
Right? And for us, it goes down to this: keep AI human-centric, transparent, and always guided by our values.
Are there any behind-the-scenes ways IKEA is implementing or using AI where people would not notice, but still it makes a big difference to the company?
Mm-hmm.
And to the customers.
And to the customers. The customers are at the heart of everything we do,
Exactly.
Of course. Yes. So we're always looking for ways to make things better for our coworkers and our customers. It's all about creating better everyday life for the many people out there. And with IKEA's reach, of course, we always have the customers in consideration. So some things behind the scene. We use AI to make our supply chain forecasting more accurate. So we predict demand better, so that you as a customer can know when you have the right product available, where and when. And another example is about product recommendations. So AI helps make shopping more relevant and convenient, right? Now it's more personalized towards you. So there are these things that you as a customer might, see it as a small thing, but having it work in an enterprise such as IKEA with its complexities and its beauties, it takes a lot of effort, cooperation with the global environment we work in, and making it again safe and responsible for you as customers.
Yeah, there's always candles. Candles is a hot selling product.
I'm not sure whether they're a hot selling product like everywhere or no. I haven't looked into the stats.
Yeah.
Maybe Sweden, the Nordics.
Yeah.
The more romantic
wrapping paper when you're wrapping presents.
Aha, okay. We have to check that. Is it like continuously, or it's how it is during Christmas?
Yeah, it must be, right? Especially during Christmas. I want to say congratulations. Super proud of you that you have been recognized as one of Sweden's top 75 female leaders of the future. That is so amazing, Vera.
I got goosebumps again.
Yeah. That is just wonderful. Clearly this is a huge honor, how does it, what do you think, considering your leadership journey, what does that mean for you, in addition to the awesome honor that it is to receive that recognition?
So that happened last year, and that recognition came into my life when I was going through a really big awakening, like life-changing, and it's that happened after a leadership training I went through that really pushed me to pause and ask myself what I truly stand for and how I want to show up in the world and for the world. And having that recognition really land in that particular time of life is also something that was showing me that, hey, I'm on the right track. Because when you are in a vulnerable place, when you're reflecting deeply and looking into old wounds, really getting something like that I have never expected. That is something that happens to everybody else. Why would anyone come to me? And it was very much because I'm a quiet worker, do the work, the normal recognition, would be within the companies, the next promotion, getting to visit a conference as a recognition, right? But I never saw this coming, right? And it made me really think of the little girl I once was, endlessly curious, never settling for what she could see around, and always believing that there is something more out there. Of course, that girl is still with me and reminds me every day why I do what I do. But having this recognition is, of course, overwhelming, and it's a proud moment. But what really matters is how I use it.
Yes.
Right? And it's a reminder for me to keep creating spaces where people feel seen, safe, and where they can grow and bring their best at work, at life. I also coach younger girls, and it's also about telling the stories and embracing what they have, and not to be afraid to show up in the world the way they are.
Yeah, and I think that, it's like you said, how do I use it? Yeah. And the story that you come with, the journey that you've been on, because I can imagine that today you're already doing a lot of things to pay it forward.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So. And it's, I heard it somewhere, it's important that you lift as you go.
Yeah.
And for me, that is so important. I work with a lot of people, and it's about noticing as well, observing, and going there to lift people up.
Yes. Now you gave me
You
goosebumps.
do it. Now you do it all the time, so you know about that.
I think it's wonderful because it gives you a good feeling when you are able to lift other people as well.
Yes.
So, let's go to leadership, because you know, now you've been recognized as a leader. What does modern leadership look like to you, especially in the spaces that you are working with, right? Heavy AI and transformation, automation places.
It's all about keeping the human side front and center, right? Trusted research out there, like World Economic Forum reports, if you read, shows that human skills like emotional intelligence, resilience, and adaptability aren't anymore nice to haves. I think they have been always important, but now we have a research behind that, and they're what makes people thrive alongside technology. And we need to rethink who gets a seat at the table when we build these solutions, right? It can't just be engineers,
No.
Or developers deciding the future of how the future will look, because everything we build has a ripple effect to society, right? So we need to evolve broader perspectives in order to design what we build for the many, and it serves the purpose of the many and also societies, because we're so interconnected.
Yeah.
Something you build in Sweden with adding your Swedish values in place, and engineers in Sweden build, it might not be relevant for people, I don't know, in the other parts of the world. I don't want to name, but you get me. There can be a lot of things we need to think of before we actually go into building something. So modern leadership is about making sure the systems we create are deeply human-centric, sustainable, and resilient by design. So not just lines of code, but technology that really respects people and their life. So yes, that is about modern leadership a bit.
Yeah, and I think you're very consistent in the entire talk today with the human, not human in the loop, but the human aspects.
Yes.
So yes.
I mean, we often forget about that central and essential, piece we all work for.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is the human.
Yeah, agree. You're also on the advisory board for Politecnico di Milano, where you shape AI and automation discussions. You help shape those discussions around Europe. Is there something that global leaders today are missing? The trends or tensions or fears? Is there something that you could share with us?
We see companies that they want to move beyond the simple automations. They want to introduce AI. They want to introduce agents and use more of that. But in essence, many organizations still struggle with fragmented processes, skills gap, and no clear roadmap forward for scaling.
So
as well.
it's really, I mean, then what you're saying is it's really just a hype, right? I mean, because it's all talk, but very little go.
Yes, exactly. And when you put everything in practice, it's so much more different.
Yeah.
Don't trust all the headlines out there. I mean, the technology is ready, right? But the organizational readiness, skills, and trust still need to catch up.
Yeah, but do we think that it is, because they're doing POCs, but is it areas where they don't know how to implement it, or they don't know how, what AI to introduce, what automation to introduce? Is that I'm just trying to, I'm trying to figure out what could be the factor that is preventing, this scaling of AI.
I think what is key here is, again, how ready your organization is for change, the systems, their processes, and people.
Yeah.
We need to think about how the future will look like. How can we redesign our processes and landscapes in order to introduce more technology?
Yeah.
It's not only about introducing the fancy new tech. Sure, it's cool, it's great, but would it really work?
Yes, absolutely. But then your work on the advisory board,
Yes.
Is there any gap you see that, between academia research and the real world? And how, if there is a gap, how do you think we could close that?
Yeah. One thing I always say is that bridging the gap starts with seeing research as something that should live and breathe in the real world and in the companies where we work for, and not just to be a piece of paper on a shelf.
Yeah.
Business leaders can do so much more to make research practical. Team up with researchers, share your real problems that you face, set up living labs, have them as part of R&D, run pilots, and invest really in research that will go side by side as you drive the business forward. And when academia and industry really work together, we solve problems much faster. We build more trust around AI, and we make more sure that innovation actually serves people and not the other way around. And what I really like in Politecnico di Milano is that they connect research policy and industry in a way that is very practical. So you feel that the bigger pieces of the puzzle sit together, they discuss.
Yeah.
That is what applied research is all about.
I'm thinking about the award that you've won, the leader that you are, the leader that I see in you. What advice would you give women or underrepresented groups that want to be leaders, that want to go in a similar path as you have? Mm-hmm. What's the advice you would give them?
I need to pause here and really think if I have to give, one structured advice with all the myths that we grow up and are still exist. Because they do impact us, no matter how much we don't want to hear all of that. It comes to us, right? When you apply for certain jobs, or when you imagine who could possibly sit on that position, it's always someone else that comes into picture, right? I was lucky to grow up with parents who were both scientists, and for me, from very young age, they made it clear, that curiosity, effort, and integrity matters, and staying true to your own values. So while yes, I grew up with that mindset, of course, the external world impacted me a lot and
influences you.
Yes, influences a lot. You zip yourself in so many moments, right? But when as I moved through academia and into my career, I saw how real those barriers were, and it's pretty sad when you start noticing it. So my biggest advice is don't internalize those old stories. Tech is built for people, with people, and for people. And the unique perspectives of each individual there is needed. Work hard, as my dad says. work hard. Everything is for normal people, you know. Don't pity yourself or anything. Just go work hard, and things will, you know, will
fall into place.
Will fall into place little by little. You don't
Yes.
need to do those like big leaps, you know. Little by little, put in the work, effort, respect others, listen, get mentors around you, and things will work out.
Yeah. I love that. Yes, yes to all that, what she just said. So for my last question, a fun one. If you had an unlimited budget, no constraints for a whole year, what ambitious tech initiative would you pursue at IKEA or beyond?
Education is power, right? And if I had unlimited budget with no constraints for a year, I will probably invest in making, multiplying that so it lasts longer for more people and more investments. But I would put everything in education. And, you know, I feel we are living in times when technology can deeply impact us, and so far has shaped so much of society that we have not been aware of, or, you know, things just fell out of hands. So I would invest in AI literacy programs, in how what we have at hand can serve us better, so that each individual understands what is the technology, what comes with it, and what decisions they want to take with that technology. I want to be able to understand as individual, do I want that tech to do something for me, or I don't want? Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, indeed.
And in all levels of society, without any without putting anyone in the margins, and only then, when we're well educated, we will not be fooled by all the catchy headlines, right?
Not the hype.
No, not the hype. Yes, I mean, the hype is also good, right? It drives you. It helps you move forward. Curiosity, and you do the research and things. But it's also about standing on the ground and seeing what is behind that hype.
Yes.
Can I understand that better? Will it do something good, or it's really just a hype?
Yeah, true that. Thank you, Vera.
Thank you very much, Vanessa.
And thank you, all of you. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. She's brilliant. And if you want to hear more about her, follow my website, follow my link, because I will connect to her LinkedIn page as well. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? Go now. Thanks again. Bye.